At what stage is the Elandsfontein project currently? How long before you finalize the final design, and when do you plan on commissioning the project?
Yeah, okay, so basically Elandsfontein at the moment, we spent 120 million on the plant. So 90% of the capital and the project development's in place, the road, the power, the stockpiles, etc., that's all sorted. What we're working on at the moment is really just finalizing the designs for upgrading the plant. That's going to make it more sustainable, more efficient, more environmentally friendly. It's also going to give us the ability to be less sensitive in terms of the blended head grade. And that should give us the chance to even extend our life of mine. So there's a lot of reasons for that. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of test work at a bench scale level. All of that is positive. That gives us a high level of confidence. We've also done a fair amount of engineering design work. But where we sit at the moment, we're just finalizing the pilot test work. So that's at a larger scale in a more closed circuit that really represents what's going to happen on the plant. And that's happening as we talk at Mintech. If everything had gone perfectly to plan, that would have been finished already. We're hoping that that will be done early, towards the end of February, early March. And then we're actually running in parallel. So we've got a high level of confidence based on the other work we've done. And this will then really just polish and or confirm where we are. And that's where the design work is in place. After that, then obviously you place the orders or you start the long lead time items. Some of those we've already placed. So specifically the water thickener, we know we need that. That's a given. So we placed the order for that. There's then attritioning and conditioning. We have a high level of confidence. While we haven't placed the order because it's the final design spec, we have started interaction, negotiation, and with various suppliers to start the process. So that's really where we are. And so that whole thing should be done by the end of the first quarter. And then really we start the on-site engineering. So then we start preparing the existing site to receive all of those goods when they come, and hopefully by the end of the year it's in place, and we start putting ore through the plant. And using 2020, there's a commissioning ramp up. So during 2020 we'll reach steady state production. But that also means very positive cash flow. So our positive cash flow starts fairly early in 2020, looking to be a good year.
Kropz has an exciting new project in the Republic of Congo lined up called Hinder. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, it is. So it's part and parcel of what we did the last year. Part of what we did in 2019 was work towards better understanding what was required for the Elandsfontein mine, raising additional cash, and then putting together a portfolio of assets, starting with Elandsfontein as our foundation, and then Hinder in Republic of Congo and Afleo in Ghana. The Kaminko project is the company we acquired, and the name of their specific project is Hinder in Republic of Congo. That is generally recognized as the largest known but undeveloped phosphate reserve in the world. So in other words, there's a high level of confidence. It's well developed and well understood. So that's exciting. It's very similar to Elandsfontein in many ways. It's also sedimentary. It's also no more than 50 odd kilometers from the port. It's very similar final product specifications, and a lot of work has been done. The previous owners, Kaminko, has spent more than 50 million developing that asset. In my opinion, and obviously everyone has their own, their biggest challenge was they wanted to go too big too soon. So it required a significant amount of cash, a capital investment, and a lot of other infrastructural support. We firmly believe that with an optimized solution, we can end up putting a lot less cash into the project, a lot longer life of mine, and at the end, not very different final economics. So that's very exciting. I think that's going to add a real boost to the total Kropz portfolio of assets.
What will the phosphate market be like? There's an anticipated recovery. Where will the demand be?
Yeah, so it is also, I think our whole position right now where we stand as Kropz is very fortuitous. We're right at the bottom of a cycle. It's a cycle that's trending up. Anybody who's worked in the mining sector for any period of time knows that resources in general are quite cyclical. The worst place to come in is at the top of a cycle. Sadly, that's so often where so many businesses come in. We've seen that so much in iron ore because that's when it's easiest to raise cash and there's the most support for exploration work, etc. We're at the exact opposite. We're at the end of a cycle, a dip, and it's now trending upwards. The main drivers for phosphate, and phosphate is a quasi-commodity. It's not nearly, it does have a cyclical component, but it's not as volatile as so many other resources, and that's because of the drivers. The key driver for phosphate demand is increasing population growth, changing diet patterns, reducing arable land, so there's less and less farmland available. And that last one is for two reasons. One, increased urbanization. So in order to live in cities, we're taking more and more land. And because governments recognize you have to ring fence green environments to protect against climate change. And what does that mean? It means that our farmers are going to have to produce much more food in much less land. And to just really put that into perspective, it's a well-recognized statement. And a lot of experts would support it, that the expectation is that farmers have to produce as much food in the next 50 years as they did in the last 10,000. Now that is, wow, that's a big ramp up, and the only way they're going to do that is supported with phosphate and other fertilizers. So that's really what the drivers are, and that's why we have a fair level of confidence prices will continue to trend upwards.